Welcome back! Nashin here with another episode of BrewCraft. And as you can see, Chris has once again removed his giant, amazing table. It's sad, I don't know where he's put it, but I'm sure he's just moved it. And if you saw his reaction video, which I did, it was really good. For some reason, very sadly, he didn't actually instantly recognize it, which was very sad and depressing. How can you forget something so amazing? But I still enjoyed it because he was puzzled it out of his brain. He sort of had the idea of, I remember it, but he can't put my finger on what it actually is. And it was really incredibly frustrating for him, which was hilarious for me to watch. So, I'd say that was a successful mini prank type thing. Now, one thing Chris said in one of his videos, he's been commenting on how last time I was saying about, hey, I don't have a lot of time to do a lot of stuff. And then going on how crazy I am having done a lot of things, but I really haven't done that much. I mean, all I've built is a small campsite, a makeshift guardian farm, salmon shrine, an inefficient squid farm, a mini golf club. Okay, so maybe there's a few things there, but they're all fairly small, quick and simple type things, which is kind of the idea. You know, nothing huge like this. So let's go take a look around the town, where vaguely everyone's seen the town. It's in everyone's videos. That's where most people hang out, which is actually pretty cool. But I'll show you some of the things that people don't see around the town, which is the in-depth of what I've been doing. Poffy has made this Thanksgiving feast for us, being Canadian, and it's Thanksgiving time in Canada. And it's really nice, nicely set up in the middle of here with the food. I've got these Thanksgiving turkeys, which I'm actually really annoyed at because they don't stack with my regular chicken. And I'm desperately needing inventory space right now. But oh well. So the main thing I've built so far is the spawn area. Well, the main public attraction is obviously the Salmon Shrine. Or the Salmon Shrine. So here's how it works. I've not showed it off. Well, I did last time. I said here's my big fish, but it wasn't finished. I've got these magical cheaty water fountains to make it look grand. And yes, it's a big fish. But the signs say, and it's the same on both sides. I don't know if that's annoying having the same thing. It makes people feel like there's more. Too long didn't read stuff. If you would enter the Salmon Shrine, offer ye a fish upon the altar. The rarer thy fish, the more likely that entry shall be granted. And I've got my chests temporarily of junk here. I need to move somewhere else. So basically you get a fish, any fish, and you chuck it on here, and it gets sucked up into a magical system down below. I'll show you. I'll just grab some of these fish here. And you hear that noise, that means it's been swallowed, but the door has not been opened. So you try again. And basically, there are 4 different types of fish in the game, and they each have probabilities. These cod type ones, it's like only a 1 in 9 chance of it opening. A salmon, I think, is 1 in 5 or something. And then the clownfishes, I think it's 1 in 3, and the pufferfishes a 50-50 or something like that. So yeah, with these kind of fish, you're going to need a lot of them. Wow. And I didn't take on the water temple, as Chris accused me of. It's still here. I just built around it. But yes, I put this chest here. This is a complimentary fish for curious cheapskates. Chris, cough. Because Chris has twice checked past here already in his videos and said, oh, I don't have any fish. So, and yeah. These regular codfish, I could maybe just chuck several. And then it dings and the mouth opens for a while and you get let in. Now what's in here, the main thing is the Salmon Shrine Swap Shop, or if you pronounce it properly, the Salmon Shrine Swap Shop. I actually did that. And I said it's a bit of a tongue twister, so you say that 10 times quickly. And Kit did that on his video and it was hilarious. You should go watch that. And the idea is there's just a bunch of items that range from pretty menial, like an inconspicuous block of dirt, to pretty fancy. This is a pick has Silk Touch, Unbreaking 3, and all sorts of stuff. And the idea is you just come and swap for anything you want or anything you think you want, swap something that you think is a similar value. It's fairly honest system. There's no official pricing. It's just like, yeah, I reckon that's worth about that. And hopefully that should get a bit language. Hopefully that should get a bit of attention. Like, that's a good starting pick for a starting out guy. You know, if you had a fortune pick, or you might decide a regular diamond or some other enchantment, or any kind of thing really, just whatever you feel. So that's the idea. The other thing I've got set up here, well, I don't have set up here, which I'm intending to set up, is a small shop where you can buy fish. So it's like, you got in, you want to get in again, buy a few fish. And then you press the button and it lets you out. Now you may be thinking that with this system, I am collecting fish for some future devious purposes that requires me to have a lot of fish. And you're wondering what it is. Well, should I tell you? I'll tell you a bit later. Keep you in suspense. But I have a special fish. That's the thing. When I throw my fish in, I get it back. And not only that, but the secret entrance opens down here. And I can shut the secret entrance from down here. And here you can see all the circuitry. And here is where the fish that get eaten end up. And there's just my random supply chests. It's a very untidy down here, like most of my redstone wiring rooms. Do I need to explain this? It's a bit of a mess. It's not that much of a mess. These hoppers are under the altar. Goes into item sorter, which sorts out, there's my fish, Ella, obviously. Not to be confused with the Ella from New Terra Noxter. This one is just named after her. This one obviously doesn't have the enchantments. But yes, there's that. Then there's regular fish, all the other fish. And that, well, Ella does something special. But, which does this and does the thing which automatically sets the Doover off. Majiggy, these ones just, this is basic randomizer. So just one of these items, if it gets the wooden shovel, gets dispensed from the dropper into the hopper, that will cause power to go far enough to do things, and there's obviously different quantities in each one. So that's how you get the different probabilities. And if that does get triggered, or if it was Ella that I threw in, or if you press the button up there, this happens, which is just basically a long pulse thingamajig, and that goes up to the piston, which opens the mouth. And what else happens? Yes, if it was... No, wait a minute. If I press the button, that's the thing. If I press the button up there, it activates this wire, which... This is just a RS NOR latch on-off switch, basically, which opens and closes that. Well, pressing the button that opens the mouth closes the secret entrance, so that when I go out, it automatically locks. I can automatically lock it from in here. And pressing this button, or this wire from when I throw Ella in, causes it to open. Alright. I think that about covers it. Oh, and also the fish, or anything else you throw that doesn't get picked up by the filter. If you throw something that's not a fish in, it still goes into the system and it just makes a beep beep noise. That all goes through here, into this dropper, gets dropped down into the water stream and taken back to that chest we saw earlier. So if you throw anything else, or if you happen to die on there and all your items go in, yeah, that will end up in there. I can see who's been throwing what in there. But if you press this button, this is the exit button, as we said. It opens the door and it should launch me up. It's a bit derpy with lag sometimes, but yeah, and obviously. So that's the Salmon Shrine. I should point out that I have still not made any crafting tables. 0. So all those crafting tables that I had in my place were stolen. Well, not really stolen. I found ones that are sort of out in the wilderness that had been abandoned. Well, haven't actually stolen anyone from anyone's house, but it's funny, it gets a bit crazy. I kind of started as just a kind of a joke to do the, or not have the achievement things for a while, and then later on just go, oh, I just got the first achievement, lol. But But yeah, and I've just kept on doing it, mostly because it becomes very no place for Bloxy when you've got to run back and forth to the crafting table all the time. And sometimes it gets frustrating, obviously, when you're out in the open, and you just got to go, I can't craft anything. I'd like to make some food. Yeah, it gets really tedious. But it's kind of fun as well. So I don't know how long I'll keep that up for, but it is fun. Apophie, the guy who built this luxurious Riverbend mall, has also been working on the server's official currency system, the Brewbucks. And they're pretty cool, and I kind of like the idea that we can have our own official currency that's not a specific item useful for anything. So I'm hoping that actually kicks off and we can start using it in some of these shops, possibly in my fish shop for the Salmon Shrine. Just because it's cool. I mean, we can live pretty nicely with a barter system or even just a generosity system, but it's cool and fun to have a currency. So hopefully that actually kicks off. But one thing he was saying, because all the currency uses ink, uses written books which you need ink, I made him this. So it says, Dear Apophie, pull the lever, you won't be disappointed. I'm not going to pull the lever, because he was saying he needs a lot of ink and it's a real pain. What the lever does, I'm not sure if he's tried it yet. I know he's seen it. We might have been waiting for something, but hopefully he's tried it yet. This lever powers a fast clock which activates this dropper, which has 2 stacks of ink, which isn't a lot, but there's something even better behind that, which isn't actually much better, as it turns out. So, oops, I broke the wrong dirt. So that dropper is filled by hoppers, which in turn are filled by an item elevator, which is fed by this water stream, which is fed by this dropper, which is fed by this squid farm, which is actually pretty inefficient. I haven't seen a lot of squid spawning here. But like we said, we got 2 stacks in there so far, and that's been there nearly a week. In fact, I think exactly a week. It's Monday today, and I'm pretty sure it was last Monday that I built this thing. So at first I had it built up here, just with a little bit of water from here to here, and then I realized that squid actually don't spawn that high up, and I moved it down. And yeah, I occasionally get squid. It's not too busy. I mean, I've been working elsewhere, so it really needs a better one. But you know, for spending a day working on a project for a guy just for fun, I think that's pretty good. And I've got a trapdoor for access, so I can check it out and stuff. Spooky. Woo. Let's go over here and check the Death Games building, which looks very fancy. Not that anyone else is online, but I like to go by here and check occasionally. These are the people who aren't playing the Death Games. Ignore them. And oh, a Poffy. Like we said, no one's online, and probably won't be coming on at this time of day. Is that just dirt there? Did they leave random scaffolding materials? This tower is just huge and hollow. I mean, sure, it's just for the Death Games machine, but you think you could put something in there. Anyway, I built a road coming out of here, and while I was building it, I discovered someone's been burying heads here, and it was a bit disturbing. When I was just digging out for the road, and I found those heads down there, and I don't know what to do about it, because we don't really have any police force. Oh, actually, no, the Sheriff Black Ops is building a sheriff office thing, I think, which involves police and cells. So I might report that to him at some point, because I feel something should be done about that. Yeah. Anyway, I built this road that goes to Oaken Lake Mini Golf Club, which I'll go and show you. It's a lovely little path. Fairly short, you can see it up there, the building. I very much like this style of building with the dark oak framework and stuff. This is kind of the style. Back on Cosmos Season 2, I was planning to build for that Tower of Wizardry. I did an episode where I did the preparation for that, and then I never did any other episodes again. I did a little bit on the framework, but didn't really get too far on it. So yes, this is the Oaken Lake Mini Golf Club, or the building anyway. I've got a little fence so I can keep baggage out here when he's not at my camp, which he isn't, because I don't do much at my camp anymore, but I will sometimes. Anyway, nice little banner. It's, you know, golf ball on a tee with a red flag. I think that's pretty cool. And inside, currently, I've got these messy chests here. Well, this messy chest, that one I think is meant to be here. The idea is you play a game of golf and we can keep your high scores maybe on this window or on that window or somewhere around here. Haven't quite figured that out. Upstairs, it's just like a nice little seating area with chairs and tables. So it's kind of like it's a club. You can sit around and have a coffee or a snack while you're waiting for your friends or whatever. You know, it's a fairly casual hangout, play golf affair. No smoking on the balcony. This balcony looks very nice. It's really annoying you can't jump off it, but maybe that is actually a safety feature. And it's really nice. You get a good view of town from here. Well, not a good view, but you can see it all, which I like. It's sort of just on the edge of the view. No, this is what I've been... the building's mostly done, other than figuring out how the scoring works. And then this is kind of the kiosk counter. You can buy snacks and whatnot, or, you know, buy tickets to play. I'm not sure whether I want to charge to play a game of golf. And whether it will be something cheap, like just $1 brew buck or something, if I can use this system. Just something else to use the system. Something to use the system. Normally you'll be playing with just snowballs, or I'll probably anvil them and rename them to golf balls. But I might have like other balls available, like slime balls, maybe ender pearls, and other things, and possibly charge more if you want to play with those. It makes no difference, you can use any item, and possibly I might have it so if you pay even more, like 10 brew bucks, or maybe only 5 or something, you can use any item of your choice, and I would use Ella. Just for that, but you can use anything. And yeah, in these item frames, or this one that might be moved, I don't know, but I'm going to have books just telling you the rules for the game and rules for building your own holes or your own courses, because I've built a few holes already. I want to build a few more that I've built, but I want people to be able to come along and build their own and add to it and make it kind of a community thing. But yeah, I'll have the rules and stuff for that. And these signs will have like prices just for like snacks and foods and things, which we won't sell, but just, you know, for pretend, to make it feel like it sells things. So there's a little counter with a barrel, whatever, stuff, chest, which is actually mostly junk at the moment. And down here, down the stairs, I love this style of stairs, the carpeted fences. It just feels so open and it works just as well as stairs. Down here I've got supplies for building courses, so furnaces for smelting stone, workbench, water source if you want water, and the lake's normally closer anyway, but we've got course surface, so your carpets and your packed ice, I went and got some. Paths and borders, the red sandstones for the paths and stone for the borders, and just random junk. And some sheep so you can get more carpet. And the actual course, I'll just show you briefly, starts out this door, and I like this. The first hole is pretty easy. You start on here, and you go down there, and it's fairly easy to get a hole in one. If you don't get it quite far enough, it might take you 2. So nice and easy to start you off. Drowning is prohibited, and violators will be prosecuted. So that's hole 1, pretty easy. This one's fairly simple too. Hole 2. You just throw your ball around there. Takes about 2 shots. If it takes more than that, you suck. Hole 3, you got a few of these bunkers, which you can dodge. Again, you can probably manage to do it in 2 shots, maybe 3. Par is 3, because it's a bit trickier. But all this red sandstone, I went to the mesa biome. There's a mesa biome we found. And there's a lot of red sand, but you can find red sandstone around the caves. And I got the actual red sandstone because I don't like getting the red sand because, well, messing up the terrain for... It's a bit more of a commodity, red sand, compared to deserts where you can... that are deep, because the sand's only 1 layer. So I went and specifically found the sandstone and went around the entire mesa and got, like, all of it, pretty much. So, it's a bit insane. Anyway, hole 4, you've got some water involved. This one's a bit tricky. You got to kind of throw off to the side and hope that your ball doesn't get swept into the trench. If it does, you've got to go back to here and start again. And then if you make that, you've got to do the next one, which there's another water trenchy, sweepy thing, which isn't as bad because that just puts it over here on this bunker. But if you don't if you can get it past that, you can get it to go to here. You can often get it in that third shot if you time it. If you get the angle right and the position was good there. From here, you can't really do that, and it's going to take you an extra 2. So the par is 4, and this is up to hole 5? Yeah. And the par is 5 for this one. We've kind of got, well, 1 was 2 par, but other than that, it's been 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. It's kind of lined up that way. This one's a bit tricky, because you've got to throw your ball along this edge bits and not go too far, and it's not that tricky. Like, you can take it easy, and that's what the 5 shots is. If you just do, like, if you throw it to here, you can do fairly easily. Throw it to there, go right to there, and then from here, right to there, right to there. But if you can aim it right and angle it right, you can get it a fair way. Oh, see, that fell off, and that would be an extra 2 strokes. But if you can get it to land like here, then sometimes you can throw it across the gap from here. So if you, but obviously that can happen. But if you get it right, you can get it to land right here, and I'm pretty sure you can't throw it across that gap. No. So if you can do that shortcut, that's just 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can trim down there on if you're a bit behind. But it's pretty tricky to do. And I haven't made any more so far. That's as far as I've gotten. But we've got this whole nice lake, and I want to kind of focus on going more or less around the lake. Well, not necessarily around it, but in the vicinity of the lake. It is Oaken Lake Mini Golf Club after all, but I want to have things like... I've got some ideas for slime block things that do launching the ball across. Problem with most of those is they're a little bit finicky, and a little bit ends up just goes, yeah, he put it, and the ball ends up going here. There's like no skill involved. I mean, the skill is you get it into the thing, and then the ball is there. It might as well not be related or connected at all. So I'm not sure what to do about that. We'll have some things like that, and other timey type things, and more complicated things, and obviously try and get fancy as you go along. But that's what I got so far, and again, I'll soon be allowing, well, I don't know if I want to build like a whole course, like 9 or so holes, and then have other people can come and build their own holes on like a custom course and have separate courses, or if I'll just... But anyway, I do want people to be able to come and build their own holes at some point, or their own courses, whatever. And yeah, I will be having that. And I like the idea of like mini golf. In terms of making mini games on the servers, I've had totally got spun around. I've had a bit of... The problem with a lot of them is you spend a lot of work building a game and then it rarely gets used. And that's what I like about this, is something that you can play with just one person. You don't need to bother getting a group together. So hopefully people who are a bit bored can just do an episode where they play by themselves if they want to. Obviously it's more fun when you have 2 people and you're actively competing, but you don't need to. And that's the thing. Kit's building a big dirt mansion. I like it. It looks pretty nice. Like, as far as dirt mansions go, because he's got all the wooden supports and things. But we may have plans of visiting somewhere near here and doing things at a future time. Oh yeah, I was going to tell you what I wanted all those fish for, wasn't I? Tune in next time to another episode of BrewCraft to find out. I'm Noxter, and I'll see you next time. Just like shooting fish in a barrel.